Biden's just hoping that they leave. What happens is he keeps releasing them into the country, but they just aren't allowed to apply for asylum. So they just stay here in the shadows or in hotels for free. It's not like he's flying the Venezuelans back to Venezuela. Venezuela won't accept deportation flights. Migrants are still going to come here, and they're just going to stay because they're just not going to need asylum. So Biden's shutting down asylum claims, right? Wrong. Biden's still letting 1,400 illegals per day come into the country if they use the Asylum app. You remember Open Table for illegals? You get to make a reservation to break into the country. And if you're a minor, Biden's executive order still lets you in. You get asylum. Or if you've been trafficked, which literally every migrant is, Biden still lets you in with asylum. And Biden's still flying in 30,000 migrants a month. That doesn't stop. But this is the best part. Migrants can still show up at the border and claim they're scared, and they're fast-tracked into the country. You get asylum if you say you're scared. I'm sure the migrants have never heard that. This executive order just orders more illegals. I'll take 30,000 Venezuelans in the air, 1,400 Mexicans on the app, and we'll do some Chinese and all the kids you can eat.
Who's going to watch those unaccompanied children? If they are allowed in, you don't ship them back. You don't do anything like that. So where do they go?
Neil, we deal with unaccompanied children in a humanitarian way, adhering to our values. We deter irregular migration. We build lawful pathways.
But this encourages
we have
drug
programs
cartels
for
to
minors.
take advantage of those kids, does it not, sir?
Neil, we're taking it to the drug cartels with unprecedented strength. We're going to adhere to our values while we take tough enforcement measures, which is what we have done.
Does anybody believe the Biden administration has taken it to the cartels with unprecedented strength? Have you heard anything about Biden dismantling the cartels? Any big arrests? Any big shootouts? Biden and the cartels are in league together. Even NBC is saying this executive order is a joke.
There is a pretty big difference between what this executive order looks like on paper and what Biden and other Democrats are using it to say they are doing in terms of shutting down the border, saying they're taking dramatic action, et cetera, and what it looks like how it'll actually play out on the ground. I'm pretty skeptical at this point that this is going to have any kind of immediate, measurable, dramatic result in terms of the number of people crossing.
A Venezuelan Biden migrant, Bernardo Maita, a gangbanger, just shot up a New York City cop in the leg, put 2 slugs in another cop's chest. Luckily, he's alive because of his bulletproof vest. Venezuelan gangs are infiltrating migrant camps from coast to coast. Investigative journalist Jonathan Cho caught a gang right outside of Seattle.
TDA members are also suspected of infiltrating the migrant camp at Riverton Park United Methodist Church in Tukwila, just a few miles away from Seattle. We've obtained this internal email sent out by Puget Sound fire officials in April, warning first responders about this serious threat, saying firefighters are only allowed to enter church grounds if they are accompanied by 3 police units. Graham Bay is an outreach worker and has helped migrants move into area motels.
What do you do when you got 0 opportunities for work, you got 0 opportunities to advance yourself?
He says young men without anything to do all day at the camp are being actively recruited to join the gang.
What's happened is you've concentrated a bunch of people together and you've allowed them to begin to drift into the fringes of society.
Biden threw a party to celebrate keeping these people in the country. Look how easy it is.
Where are you guys from? What country?
Mauritania.
Mauritania, from Africa?
Yes.
Yeah? And why'd you guys come to the United States? What country?
Nepal.
Nepal?
Yeah.
All of you from Nepal?
Yeah.
No English.
This is America. See the red lights? Yeah. That's Border Patrol. Straight. No. San Diego. See the lights?
San Diego. Okay. Thank you.
San Diego, right there. Biden's faux executive order isn't designed to protect the country. It's to protect his campaign.
Okay, just looking at libs of TikTok, it appears to me that wokeness has been in retreat for about 4 years. Now, libs of TikTok notes 10 NFL teams declined to put out Pride Month messaging this year. Thank God. Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati, Tennessee, Kansas City, Denver, Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers, New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons. I almost ceased being a Cowboys fan when, before the playing of the national anthem, a bunch of the Cowboys, including Jerry Jones, kneeled. At least they didn't kneel during the national anthem. but that they would kneel down to the craven, Black Lives Matter activism was just absolutely disgust me. Ugh. But now at least 10 teams are not on board with this. Okay. Chat says Matt Drudge is lit these days. Well, I go to Matt Drudge every day. In fact, it's my first news site that I check. So yeah, good on the NFL. And wow, we've got Joseph Cotto and Paul Gottfried are back. Let's just give them a chance here.
It's not something I like Trump, but I absolutely loathe Biden. I think he's totally unfit. I also find him morally reprehensible in a way that I do not find Donald Trump. But I don't know. I don't know what the long-term effect of this is. I think it'll just be a wash. I don't think people who disliked Trump before dislike him more. It does seem that 54% of those who respond to polls think that was the right verdict. I mean, that I consider scary because it is consistent with the way the media shapes reality for most Americans. It's just like believing that Joe Biden is more honest than Trump, and it's like he wins by 14% among respondents to that question. Joe Biden does. So I mean, this does bother me because I thought it was a transparent fraud the entire trial. And I would assume most people would, but this is not the case at all. Because if they watch network news or CNN or any of these other leftist television stations, they would come away with a very different impression. It was that Trump did so. Even if there was no crime they could specify, he's a very bad man and deserved what he got. And that's generally what I'm hearing. People that he's a very bad man, and they finally got him.